Surprisingly enough, Blackbeard has quickly become one of my more anticipated decks to try out with some of the new starter deck support, because I had not played this deck once before the starter deck event at my locals. This is the random deck that I got for the starter deck event, and I don't know, it was a lot of fun. In terms of like a removal deck, it feels like it's got so many pieces now. It feels very complete. Not saying that this is a complete list, because again, I'm no expert. I have not played this deck, but I want to learn. So this is going to be like a start of like, you know, I don't know how much I'm going to play it on the channel, but like a little bit of a series trying to learn new decks for myself. And also I want to show this off because the new support is really, really nice. But before we get into this, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and let me know what starter deck you ended up getting for starter deck event, or just in general what you ended up buying, because I'm very curious to see what people's favorite decks were, you know, going into this. And if it changed, because for me, this changed a lot, right? This deck was one that I didn't really hate. You know, there was definitely ways to play around Blackbeard. There always are. There's always a downside to having pitching for leader ability, right? Not running a lot of 2Ks always leaves you a little susceptible to aggro. However, we have more tools than ever before. I say we like I'm a Blackbeard player, but you know, it's a fun deck and I want to dive into it. But also, before we get into the deck list, if you want to support the channel, of course, subscribe and all that. But you can check out Net and Garden. I've got a coupon code, Straw Hat Pecan, for additional 5% off any of their play mats. I've used the Shanks and the Whole Cake Island mat. They're very nice, very good quality. And again, they're running a sale right now, and my code stacks on top of that. So check that out in the description if you want to pick up a dope play mat. But yeah, let's get into things. If you are a newer player, this is not like bad in terms of price point, I would say. Looking recently, I think this Kuzan is a lot cheaper now, because I don't know how well Blackbeard fared and still fares against Blue Purple Luffy, which is like the deck to beat. So this card in SR from set 10, I don't think is that expensive. I think the most you'll probably spend is going to be for these starter deck cards, because you have to buy 2 copies of a starter deck. So, you know, depending on your local place, or if you're able to get it for MSRP, like that's what 30 bucks, right? I got them for 15 each, so that's at least something you'll have to kind of get, right? But if you're also newer, the starter decks do come with a lot of these cards, so pretty decent way to pick up the deck. But let's get into things. He is Marshall D. Teach, Blackbeard, 5 life, mono black, 5k power. You don't have on plays, they don't work. None of your on plays work with this deck, which is it's very interesting. You know, being somebody who always played against Blackbeard and never as Blackbeard, I was always so annoyed that I don't get my on plays. But that is a puzzle piece that you have to kind of figure out. Piloting this deck of when to properly turn off on plays. It's different for every deck, every matchup, right? And then we have activate main. You can trash 1 card from your hand. Your opponent doesn't get on plays for their next turn either. Very annoying. Definitely makes your opponent play a lot differently. Of course, that does come with that downside, right? However, pitching a card, we have a ton of cards that allow us to kind of get that back in a way, right? Kuzan can get a card back from grave. Blackbeard can get a card back from grave. Kuzan draws you a card and plays a card out from grave. Doc Q gets a card on KO. Van Augur gets a card on KO. You know, a lot of ways to help our hand size not be as bad, right? Getting into it, we're running 8 2K counters. I don't know the proper ratio, but I have seen from the research that I did do before this, 12 is too much, and honestly, I kind of agree. I wanted spots for other things as well. I don't know how many new lists are going to be running the Doc Q, because I have seen lists without it, which I don't know, because I feel like against a meta where Bello Betty is going to be quite popular because of how well that deck does into blue purple, Doc Q feels really good being able to just get rid of any searcher they play out, any little body, and then once we get that Van Augur out, it can kind of get rid of anything, right? But yeah, 8 2K counters. We got Stronger, which is a 2K 1 Don active main, trash 1 card from your hand, and this character, we get to minus one of your opponent's character's cost by 2. It's nice. It is really nice in a pinch, and again, with a lot of ways to get cards back from our trash, like recur value in that way. I can see why this isn't a horrible downside. but we'd rather minus cost with something like a Van Augur, which can just do it by resting himself, right? And skipping to our other 2k counter, Carbu from set 11. It's a 1-cost 2k counter blocker. His on play obviously doesn't work in this deck, so we don't even have to really worry about it, you know? A 1-cost blocker, really nice in a meta where there's a lot of ramp. That's very popular. There's also a lot of aggro to go against that ramp. So I guess I can kind of see where this is pretty much a 4 of in a lot of new lists, even though there was a new 2k counter in the starter deck that had a similar effect to Stronger, but just -1 cost instead of -2, right? Then we have our Lafitte Searcher, just rest himself in a Don to look at top 5 for a Blackbeard Pirates type card. Got Doc Q, which is a 2 cost, 0 power, 1k counter, active main, rest this character. He's leader locked, KO one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 1 or less, and then on KO draw a card, which is very nice. You know, getting rid of a character, like I said, against Bell Betty, they're often going to times play out a Searcher, 1 Don card. So getting rid of that can help get rid of a little bit of the aggression. And then the fact that, you know, they're going to want to get rid of this because this is one of your KO engines for that early to mid game. It does replace itself, which is very nice. Again, this new Blackbeard is very good, KOing 3 cost. I don't know like the ratios of what everything will be. Again, I'm not saying that this is a solved list or anything. The star decks are still very, very new. I don't know when this video will go out, but they're very, very new. So as somebody who's not overly experienced with Blackbeard, this is what I'm going with right now. Running 2 Vasco Shot blockers, just a 2-cost blocker. It's gonna be very good. If on 4 Don, we're not establishing like a Burgess, you can also just play out a Vasco Shot. Like say you are searching with a Lafitte, you can play out a Vasco Shot, right? You know, it's just nice to have more chump blockers when we don't run a ton of counter in the deck. Speaking of Burgess being a notorious character of this deck, 4/5/1, this character can't be KO'd by your opponent's effects. And then he gets plus 1k for every 4 cards in your trash. So very quickly can become a 9k power attacker by the end of the game. And also you can pitch as many cards for your leader ability as you have in hand, right? It's not once per turn. So at the end of the game, it is a valid strategy. Just pitch your whole hand if you're going to just be swinging out with like a couple of Burgess you have on the board. Then we have Van Augur, 5/6/1, rest himself, minus the character's cost by 3, on KO draw a card. This is really good to have on board for our 7 Don turn for that new Blackbeard that KOs a 3 or less. That means we can KO a 6 or less with the Van Augur. We got the Kuzan, the 5 cost, 5k power. He can't be removed by your opponent's effects, so essentially you can play him out on 5 Don and he will not leave the board. Activate main, you can trash this character, draw 1 card, and then play 1 Blackbeard type character card with the cost of 5 or less, other than Kuzan, from your trash. So essentially, you can like say you play out Kuzan on like your 5 Don turn and then you pitch Van Augur, right, for leader ability. And then next turn you play out Teach, and then you swing with Kuzan, use his effect to play out Van Augur, use Van Augur's effect, and then KO something with Teach, right? Very nice because it plays it out active, so you can still use like their effect. Then we got the new Kuzan. This feels very nice, but it's a 6/6 blocker, 1k counter. On KO, play 1 Blackbeard Pirate type character with a cost of 5 or less from your trash rested. Just be mindful of it coming out rested. You know, since it's a blocker, obviously you can block the last attack of the turn, let this card die, and then play out a 5 or less. Obviously, a very good 5 cost is this Kuzan or Van Augur, right? But again, since that card comes out rested, just be mindful if you're going to block out the first swing of a turn, they can then pivot and start swinging into whatever you played off of this Kuzan. But very nice to get value off of your trash. Like I said, you like pitch for leader ability 1 turn, and then you can essentially play that card back out from your trash via this Kuzan or this Kuzan, which kind of negates a little bit of that downside from your leader ability, right? And then we got this new 7/8 Blackbeard activate main, rest his character, KO 1, cost 3 or less character. On KO, add 1 black card. from your trash to your hand. This can add itself, which is a little bit crazy, but also not, because it's a 7 cost. It's very expensive to play back out, right? If you are on like 7 or 8 Don, if you're on 8 Don going into 10, this gets KO'd. Obviously on 10 Don, you'd probably rather play out your 10 drop boss monster, but you can pick this back up, which is kind of nice. Speaking of our boss monster, we have that 10-12. You're probably familiar with this if you've been playing, but if you're a little bit newer, he is a 10-12 blocker, activate main. Once per turn, essentially, it's a leader lock. You are turning off your opponent's leader ability and then freezing one character card, and that character card can't attack. It has no abilities. So for example, like an 8-drop Captain Kidd can't even rest himself to play out a blocker or anything like that. If it's a blocker, they can't block with that card because it loses all of its abilities, right? It's like being nullified. So this is a way to kind of deal with a 10 drop on your opponent's board or any big body, right? We have a pretty decent way to get rid of a 6 cost every turn once we have this setup going. And then 10 drop can kind of freeze anything higher than that, while also being a blocker, so that way we can protect these bodies or our life, so we can just kind of consistently KO our opponent's board while establishing these big boss monsters. Getting into the events, running 3 of This Is My Era. As a searcher, look at top 3, reveal up to 1 Blackbeard Pirates type character other than this event, put in your hand, and then put the rest into your trash. So good way to fill up your trash. Only 3 copies, because honestly it feels like, obviously you just want your stage out on your first turn, right? And this is very nice leading up to 10 Don, but once it becomes 10 Don, you know, you're gonna just be wanting to play out at 10 cost anyway. 2 copies of Black Hole. Again, not sure of the ratios just yet. Let me know what y'all think of the ratios if you're still running the 6 cost event, right? That definitely can be very good against like Bella Betty, very go wide, very aggro decks. But also this combo does deal with 1 body a turn, so I don't know. Black Hole though basically can KO a 4 or less character and also negates its abilities. So if it is, for example, like Burgess, right, you can get rid of them because it kind of get rid of, you know, if your leader has the Blackbeard Pirates type, negate the effects of one of your opponent's characters. That means it kind of just loses all of its text, right? Becomes like a vanilla card. So you can get rid of cards with like an on KO effect, for example, even though this is not a 4 cost. It has to be a 4 less to KO it afterwards. If this was a 4 cost and had on KO draw a card, it would no longer draw you a card on KO because it was nullified. And then we have our stage full lead. Activate main, trash a card from your hand, rest of stage, look at top 3, reveal up to 1 Blackbeard Pirates type, and then add it to your hand, then place the rest bottom of your deck. So very important to remember, stage puts the rest of the bottom deck, Lafitte puts the rest of the bottom of the deck. This Is My Era pushes it into the trash. So if you're looking to fill up your trash, this is a good card to play out early, right? If you're wanting to buff up your Burgess. But yeah, this is definitely a deck that'll take some time to get used to, in my opinion. That's why I keep saying that I'm no expert on the deck, but I am very much looking forward to trying out this new support. So let's get into some games and test it out, see how it goes. All right, we got RP Luffy. I honestly want to take first from him, but I kind of just want to test out more of my going second curve. I'll mulligan for... okay, that got worse. All right, yeah, definitely got worse. Van Augur. Can I even get rid of some of his bigger stuff? We'll take a Van. But at least that eats up an attack. Oh, blocker Robin. Interesting. This is not gonna be great. I'm not in a great position. This is I just realized how horrible I mulliganed into. This feels rough, man. This feels real rough. Do I just establish the burger and just move on 6, 5 Don? He could bond Clay. Feels silly, right? Bond Clay could be a ramp. We'll get rid of it. Okay. I don't know. I like playing off of like really bad hands sometimes because it, you know, it makes you think, I guess, a bit better. 6 of us will, of course, take. Got just a blocker. Yeah, no stage yet. Feel bad. Next time we can at least Van Augur. Yeah, okay. So he would have also searched. So that's good. No search for you. That hurts his hand size. No search. Okay. Well, this is not good. I don't really like it. Go 6 at life. 7 Dawn. He took. Okay. We'll play out Kuzan because he'll draw us a card and we can play out the Van Augur next turn anyway. So we'll pitch the Van Augur to keep building up our Burgess. No on play, so there's no way he can really get rid of the Burgess. So Burgess will just stay here, gain power, and I am not liking what we're seeing. All 2k. Because he could still play like Rush Shanks, the 10 cost, which, you know, would hurt us. And that just buffed up our burger. Yeah, I don't like relying on top decks though. But at least we'll get to a little bit more draw power next turn. Sanji. Ooh, that's good. Unfortunately, I will only have 1 Dawn to commit anyway. So let's go here. Let's go 6. We can get rid of the Sanji or the Zoro. Either or. He blocks out. What did he pick? I mean, honestly, fair enough, but he'll go up to 8, so he does get to ramp up to 9, but not 10. See, he won't be able to play that out next turn unless he ran. I don't know. No. We'll go. We have Van Augur and Trash, right? Yep. So we'll go draw a card, play out Van Augur. Let's get rid of your blocker, I guess. And then I'll pitch. I guess I don't want a second one. Then we'll pass. I could use a second one, actually. No. That takes an entire other turn of. Unless he, you know, I had to get rid of some of his smaller guys, right? Yeah, now he's at 9. He can play. No, he can play out the 9 drop he picked up. I don't know why I said he couldn't. Oh, just big swing at Van Augur or I can pick him back up. Kind of like that. Could have picked him back up, but we had the second one in trash anyway. Feels rough to defend. Because I can't really defend the Van Augur either. 8. Yeah. No 2Ks. So we'll just let him go. To Dawn. I feel like I can just, my era, pick up stage. Yeah. I desperately needed stage for a while. Pick you. I wish I could pick up Caribou. We'll take Kuzan. We can go 6 at life. I don't want to swing with the bird just yet. Because he's very close to getting buffed up again. And then also he can play out that 9 drop next turn. But wait, is that an on-play gain rush? I think it is. I believe it is. He gums here. Fair enough, because he's denied any searches, right? So this gum is essentially just for him to draw 2 cards. He might not like his hand, right? Yeah, it's an on-play gains a rush, so no point of keeping that in hand, right? We'll play you out. Let's just get rid of you. And then let's pitch. I guess I have 2 of those, so sure. Yeah, 1 more card and then Burgess gets... that's interesting. I never thought about the... Because as soon as I counter out with a card and it goes to trash, that would count for him to be buffed. So I wonder if that, like... If he's at like a 7k stat line, he swings 8 at it. I counter 1, that buffs him up, and then he'll become 9 essentially, because he'll become 8k power via the 12 cards in trash, and then that 1k counter would get over it. No? It's interesting. Things I don't really think about when I'm playing against that. Ooh. Yeah. I can just pick him back up, I guess. I don't really have a 10 drop that I'd like to use. I'd love a 10 drop. 6 will take. There's a 2k. So we can actually... Oh, we couldn't clear this if we wanted to, but... Yeah, with no Van Augur on the board. Let's go... At this point, just get rid of the Kuzan to search for a 10 drop. Cool. So let's go... 8 at life? Sure. I feel like with the 12 and then 2 2Ks now, it'll be easier to defend the Burgess. But also maybe he just wants to get rid of you and you. And then let's trash this to negate your leader. Or your on plays. Sorry. So we gave up the Sanji, which is another on play gain rush, which unfortunate in this matchup. What is... I think the secret rare EVO 2 Luffy is an on play gain rush. But in this kind of a matchup, I don't think you would use that in this deck, right? Yeah, honestly, I think just the 10 cost rush Shanks would be really good into Blackbeard here. Or be like one of your only late game rush options. So that's kind of why he's just playing out these Zoros to go wide with, right? 8. We'll go 2 and 1. Wait, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. Laugh at me in the comments. Laugh at me in the comments. I'm actually stupid. No. Okay. I'm buffing up the Burgess. I over countered to buff up the Burgess. I'm so stupid. What did I counter the wrong? I countered the wrong thing like so much. By so much. What did I don't know why I did that. I gave up a 2k for free. I'm so stupid. This is me not being used to the deck and just not looking at the board while I'm talking. God. Yeah. Oh, he put the Don on the wrong character, which is unfortunate. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hey, we both make mistakes. I think he gave me a freebie, right? Because I made that mistake. Yeah, I'm stupid. Let's see. I kind of want to find a Doc Q. If I don't find... I think I can trash this. Oh, a 10 drop. That's also pretty good, huh? Let's go 9 at life. Yeah, he's so buffed up now because I overcountered. No, because I could have pitched just as easily, right? Let's go 12 at life. Do I just swing 15 here? Does he have 3 2Ks? Because he gets up to 10. Not then I don't know, die. I could have swung 13, but that's way less. And that's greedy. To play with the blocker, right? We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, he does. Oof for me. All right, well now he just splits and I die most likely. I can get out of a 7, 9, 10, 11. I don't know. Let's see. 7? Yeah, we can get out of that. 2 and 1. And now we can get out of another 7. You have no on plays, so if I do this, I think I'm just safe. Because what other rush card do you run in your deck? What other rush do you run in your deck? And he doesn't, I don't think he'd have enough Dawn to tack on here, tack on the, like there, both, and also play out a blocker, obviously. So yeah, I'm quite blatant mistakes, right? But again, it's like my first time playing the deck on the sim and like outside of a starter deck event, but I don't know. I made a, you know, pretty bad mistake over countering, but let's go 6 at 12. Yep, fair. Yeah. And then so you play out a blocker, just 2 Dawn for Gum Gum Giants. Not gonna have enough cards to like pitch to get Burgess up to another, right? You need 2 cards, obviously, to hit that 24. So we'll just stack a bunch and go, yeah, big number. See if the Giants can do enough. Honestly, you never know. 2 Gum Gum Giants? I don't think so, right? Okay, he doesn't have a second one. Okay. Yeah, GG. I made some pretty bad mistakes. You can laugh at me, but I'm learning, and that's, I don't know. We got Bonnie, and okay. Definitely. The 5 drops are good, but like, if I can manage to get out a really nice curve of, this is a very good hand, I'd say keep. If I can get out a very good, let's go here. I want just search from the very beginning. Yeah, we'll pick up the 10 beard. A perfect curve of Van Augur into this. I can almost not bait them out into playing out like a Cavendish or something, but you know, that would be very good. Obviously. I should have played out the Lafitte. I'm silly. I should have played off Lafitte because then on my 3 Dawn turn, I would have been able to search for 1 Dawn and then play out. That's the same, I guess. We get the Veggie, the new Veggie. Let's go. Let's get rid of the 2K. There we go. And let's go 5U. Let's go here. Let's see. Honestly, this to fill up our trash. If we find like a Burgess, would be nice. If we don't find Burgess, I think we'll just 10 drops because we'll be going for late game anyway. You know, we haven't even hit each other. Yeah, not really worried too much of turning off the on plays early on. Just depends. It depends. Plays out the Veggie. He doesn't have 6 or more rested cards though, so he doesn't get the on play, even though he could have had the on play. But truthfully, I don't think there's a way, unless you had characters on board, that you could hit it on 4 Dawn, right? Ooh, that's a lot of 10 beards. That is a lot of 10 drops. I don't think I mind them as much. Let's see. What's in my trash? But like, when do I get the chance to play this out? I have the chance to play this out on 9 Dawn. Let's go 5 of life. Right? Because my curve will go 5 Dawn, 7 Dawn, 9 Dawn. I can play this out and play out a second 7 drop. And we'll pass. And it's very weird. Very, very weird. But yeah, we really just have to maintain turning off on plays at like 10 Dawn and up so that they don't play out like a Shanks, 9 drop Shanks. Ooh, yeah, so we're just gonna get rid of that with this. Yep. 5 will take. Let's go activate main, get rid of you. Go 5 at life. again, like I like this card, and it's definitely just inexperience. It's just a matter of when is the time to play it. You know, on 6 Dawn, maybe, but then again on 6 Dawn, I'd like to establish the Van Augur for like a next turn for this. But yeah, let's go. What am I looking for? Possibly another 7-drop to get rid of a blocker on 9 Dawn. And then we'll pass. Again, I don't think I care too much about their on plays until... yeah, so now next turn will just be this into that, you know. It's unfortunate this isn't like Jack where he has that plus cost on board, nor does he cycle, which would be kind of crazy. Don't do that. I don't like that. I needed that. Okay. We'll just look for another Lafitte. Or not a Lafitte. A Van Augur. But I can't get rid of him on this turn. Just can't get rid of him. Let's get rid of one of you. Yeah, that is interesting. Burger. What's your trash? 10? 10? Let's see. Because what can I do to get rid of it? Nothing really. Nothing really. Okay. Let's take a Kuzan. I'd still like a Lafitte, because then the following turns when I'm 10 dropping, I can... that's the 4th 10 drop. I think we'll just Kuzan. You can leave any Dawn open for leader ability. We'll just play out Kuzan. I'll pitch this for leader. And we'll pass. So he can just keep this locked down, which is very unfortunate. Yeah, we can play out the Van Augur for off of this. Rosinante. Bonnie. Veggie. He's going wide with the blockers. I mean, you do get a lot of value in this kind of thing with Carrot keeping this locked down. We'll have to negate the Carrot for like a turn just to kind of try to get rid of it. So I'm like, do I just let the Kuzan go off the first swing? Probably. It depends on how much Dawn he has up afterwards. Ooh, the Veggie's going to the... Yeah. Fair enough, right? But I want him to hit my life too, because I'm still at such a high amount of life. It's kind of crazy. What does he do for 5 Dawn? I assume he'll keep one up for leader ability. 6 at us. He's frozen that already. That's the last swing. So yeah, I think we'll do that just to play out the Van Augur. Because he can't keep this frozen because he has no on plays. So if he plays another Carrot, can't keep it frozen, right? He could play out Cat, yeah, for next turn. I have to negate the Carrot though, or I'll never be able to KO again. Or I can play out a second one, but no. We'll go here. Negate your leader ability. You will go for your block, or not your searcher. He blocks. Interesting. Not interesting. Makes sense. I will swing into it because I have my 10 drop out for blocking purposes now. We'll see. We'll search via this. Okay, let's go. Okay, so he wanted that rested. Doc Q is our only option. We'll pitch a burger, then pass. So even though This is now rested. He can swing into it. I don't know what, you know, he can do to really... he would have to swing at least decently high. Because he knows I can block out one. Five of us will take for sure. One more cards. Okay, okay. But at least if this Van Augur goes, we can still just get rid of his blocker, right? And now that this will stand back up, that's like perfect. Ooh, that's getting scary for sure. So yeah, what we'll want to do is get rid of one body, nullify the other per turn. So that kind of hinges on this staying. Maybe I shouldn't have even worried about the search too much because I know this is going to go on for a while. Ooh, another blocker, which, yeah, he can just kind of protect. Well, no, they have to be rested. So I can at least, what was that? Okay. Well, block that. So since this is rested, right, we can KO Carrot, keep you frozen, right? Or do I keep you frozen? Because you're banish. And I almost... I could just swing into him. But no. Alright, let's go... Let's go 10 drop. Yeah, I don't want that banish up, truthfully. So Bonnie, there. Let's go on... you, KO you. Let's search with you. Let's pick up a 2k counter. Swing 5 at life. Okay, he counters out, and then we'll just give him the block out. Yep. And little pass. So now we've set ourselves up in a pretty good position. Did I not use leader building? Oh my god, I didn't. Oh, no. I'm stupid. That's my mistake to make, right? Yeah. Oopsie daisy. That could hurt us a lot. Yeah. We're stupid and dumb and an idiot. But I deserve that. That's what learning is about. Making mistakes. Making my way down to making mistakes. Unfortunate. Block. And then we'll take the next one. I was gonna say I'm in a really, really good position because you can swing with this and I'll just swing into it and KO another card. 6 at us. 6 at us. Take. Cool. Let's... I don't know if I want... Yeah, yeah, sure. Swing at you. I'm so stupid. I keep making mistakes. I'm so stupid and I keep making mistakes. Yep. Let's get rid of a non-counter card for Van Augur, just to have more counter and pass. I did it again. Oh my god. I can't keep making this mistake. Stop giving him on plays. This is what I said. Oh my goodness, my brain keeps failing me. I describe what I'm doing and what I need to do, and then I don't do it. And because I forget. Because I go to thinking about the next thing. I hate it. I hate it. He could possibly... No, I have a decent amount of counter. I'm not going to say what the worst case scenario would be with him having on plays would be. I'm not going to say that. I mean, our board is very stacked, right? It's hugely stacked. We got rid of his 10 drop anyway. He just wouldn't have had it out. Well, he could have had it out, but Probably wouldn't have had it out if I remembered to. Oh, yikes. Can I counter over that? 14, 16. Yeah. Let's go 14, 16, 1. And my pack stamina just recovered. Apologies if you heard that. And then we'll just take the next. You can't even restand anything with Cavendish. So do you even want to swing with Cavendish? Because then I can just swing into that the next turn probably. And yeah, 6 we'll take. Okay. And then he swings 5 and we'll counter 1. Counter 1. Okie dokie. Let's go get rid of you. Search. Pick up a counter. What do I want to play over? This is kind of getting crazy, right? I guess I'll play over the Van Augur. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, you know, I made a lot of mistakes. What did he have for counter? Should I have just gone for game? 3 life? I was playing very safe. I would have just got rid of his smoker, right? And had no on plays, so he would have had this nullified. He could still rush with Hody, but he wouldn't be able to rest my blockers. Yeah. Apologies if that was overkill. I just, you know, and also for my mistakes, right? But hopefully there's still, it still becomes decent showings of how, like, the strategy of Van Augur into new 7 drop into protecting those 2 with a 10 drop is very good, as then you can nullify a big body, use those to KO little smaller body, little body, right? Mid-range. And then just stack up your 10 beards, go for game following turns, right? Seems pretty good, pretty consistent with how many pieces we can use to find them. But he had a 2k, 0 cost, and then 1k, or no, oh no, 2 bricks. Say we probably would have maybe got it. I don't know if I didn't had 3 swings, 6 swings, 3 of them be 12k. You can get out to an 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. You can get out of a 13 once. We probably would have got it if we just went for game. Yeah, apologies. We got Yamato. I will go second and hope for I will mulligan. Okay, I was not Carbon. That's actually kind of what I was looking for. Actually no. I don't think I mind taking the first hit. It's like we're looking for blocker good. Yeah, I like kind of everything almost. So yeah, we'll look for you. 10 drop. Cool. Okay, we take first. If he swings, banish. We have a blocker for next turn. We have 2 blockers now. That's perfect. Get rid of 1 Van Augur for a Doc Q. Wow, I know perfectly what I'm gonna find. It's crazy. Somehow I've stacked my deck on the sim. Alright, so we'll play out you, play out you. So then we can use you into you to get rid of anything you play. Oh. Okay, so we're gonna counter out of this. Boom and bam. Yep. Do I mind? I kind of need Van Augur out on this turn. Do I have time to play out 2 10 beards in a matchup like this where they're just really aggressive? Let's get rid of 1. I'll pick up a 2k for sure. I feel like probably good. Let's go Van Augur this turn, next turn, but like what do they play? If they play out the Momo, that's what I need that for, yeah. So let's go 6 of life. I don't even think I care too much about the Izo swinging 5. I care about Momonosuke next turn, which I can't really negate Momo because he's activate main. Yeah, there he is. Maybe I did care, but then I'd have to defend the Van Augur and I wouldn't have been able to. 5 it does. I think we take this, we counter out of that, and then block that. Yeah. Because now next turn we can get rid of Momo and then just swing into Izo. 5 of us. I'll keep my counter then. Interesting. We'll block. 1 Don. 1 Don. You're scaring me. Let's go. Boom. This for another 2k seems pretty good. Swing 6 there. Cool. Cool. Again, I don't think I really in this matchup where they have the new Momo, I don't think I want to negate a lot until I have blockers out and I'm relying on blocker to save me from going for game from like a Hody. I don't think I care too much about turning off the on plays because the Momo gains rush via activate main. Now I don't know if they'll even care about Van Augur at all to swing into him. 6. We do have a 2k, even though our hand is very small after taking 3. Ooh. Okay. So I just nullify Kikunojo and then get rid of you. Well, actually I can just use you. And then I can swing 8. And then this is where we'll cycle out you for Vasco shot could be good. We'll go 5 at life. We do have to hit them eventually, right? Yes. Okay. So I am kind of relying on Hody. You know, they could straw sword too. We'll get rid of Kuzan and then pass. And then hopefully we just go for him the next turn with at least like the 10 beard and the 7 cost. Maybe Van Augur too. 5. And then 5. We'll block. Momonosuke. Okay. I can just get rid of him. Pick up a 2k. Or I can pick up a blocker. So I can play out 2 blockers. It's not bad. Get rid of you. So that's 8 Don. So I have 3 blockers. I could also just have split for game here. Oh. Yeah, I was debating it. That is a lot of flame splits for that. That's a lot of flame splits for that. Okay, and he had a Momo. Yeah, we would have. I probably should have just. After I attached the 2 Don, I'm like, am I being stupid here? 1 life. GG. Yeah, those are some games. Definitely really fun support, I will say. I think I had use of the Kuzan in 1 game, really, but it's still a very, very, very good card from what I can tell. But it's a matter of learning when the appropriate time to play it out is, in my opinion. It feels like a backup way to get Van Augur out on the board sometimes, or Kuzan to get Van Augur out. Like, I feel like such a strong curve of Van Augur into 7-drop, into a 10-drop cycle, which we did quite a few games, especially the ones where we won, right? So this kind of helping us get those pieces back on the board, even if it gets like KO'd, I think that's very, very good. So, you know, if your opponent gets rid of your Van Augur by swinging into him, 1, you get the +5 drawing card off of it. And 2, you have 2 ways now of getting that out of trash to back on your board, right? And that is very good. Again, not sure of the ratios. I do want to try out the 6-drop event, especially against like Bello Betty. Don't know. Yeah, let me know what you think of the deck list. If you guys have been playing Blackbeard, you know, any tips or anything like in terms of what you guys have been doing with the starter deck, or any ratios, anything would change you differently, let me know down in the comments. I will be trying to play this deck more because it's a challenge for me. It's definitely a different play style than I'm used to. I, again, haven't played the deck before. It's my first time at it. So I will improve from the mistakes and yeah, I just want to highlight the new support, but also kind of challenge myself to step outside of my comfort zone in terms of what decks that I play. And hopefully, even though I made a lot of mistakes, maybe you guys do the same in a way of picking up a deck that you've never played before, right? Starter deck came out, new set came out. There's so much new stuff to play. Try something different, right? Never played this deck before in my life. Picked up at the starter deck event, liked it, and now I'm here trying to have a bit of fun with it, you know? But either way, let me know what you think down in the comments. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hope to see you on the next one. Bye-bye.